welcome to another session of Fractures of Reality. We got a full party this time, so it's bound to be quite an entertaining session, if a bit crowded. So bear with us if it gets a little talkative at times. We're gonna try our best to keep things easy to understand, but you know how it gets with larger groups.
Yeah.
With that said, let's just hop right into it. You all have been waiting for a while, on both sides. But you all made your way, and you have finally returned to your own plane of existence. Now, I know everyone has things they want to do, so I'm just going to go top of the list and then slowly make our way down. Clara,
Okay.
what's your reaction?
Get back! She's gonna start hugging people.
Oh, great, you're here.
Good. We actually didn't make it.
Who's this?
Agree.
Scree?
Oh, yes.
Don't worry, he's friendly.
Yes, hello. Hi, I am.
Nice to meet you.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you.
More hugs.
Well, Laura, I missed you.
I missed you too. Chloe just stands. She looks at you for a moment. Is like, hugs. I had to think. She had to think about it for a moment.
Right.
Nice to meet you all. Again.
Probably noticed that some.
Wait.
Sorry.
Is there anything else you would like to do first, Clara?
I assume we're all going to have a turn about the
Yes.
modifications. So that's all she does for the moment.
All right, now you can go, Cicada.
Okay. Should bring up the picture that I made for Cicada here.
Sure.
She looks a little different. She's starting to look more like she was beginning to look more like a bug with the antenna and extra set of non-functioning eyes, but still the same Cicada as before. And she's just so happy to be back with among friends and breathing fresh air. He's practically
Surrounded by
crying.
Anything else you would like to do, Cicada?
That's it for Cicada.
Okay.
I have something for Cerveza, but I'm gonna wait for that.
All right. Neku?
Charlotte just gives a small smile as she sees everyone return and gives a wave to them all. Her hand seems to be on a new book of some kind, though the smile was a bit pained. It's good to see everyone return.
Indeed.
There you go, Charlotte.
We didn't have too much difficulty getting us back. She gives a knowing look. A knowing look.
Charlotte just shrugs. Wasn't too much.
So we've heard.
All right.
That's all Charlotte does.
Corax.
After like shrugging off the hut, she just walks over. Ryu, I actually missed you.
After
Just gives him a quick-
everything. I'm sorry, what?
Just gives him a quick hug. On top of that,
After everything you guys must have been through, I can imagine.
I was more energy than flesh by the time I'm Cricket found me.
Really?
All right.
I'm sure Jezebel would love to and shoots a knowing look at Alexander. And I'm sure Jezebel would love to go into detail on what happened to her.
Thank, thank the gods you all made it back.
Korax, from like the distance, you can just feel a glare in your direction.
You knew this was coming, Jesse.
Anything else you would like to do, Woodward?
And yes, you all see a pillar of flame and show up in the throne room. A pillar of green fire. Okay, guys, like, and then Vienna shows up holding like just this large orb of magic. Okay, guys, I got. Hey, guys, as I finally figured out a spell that it'll help find them. Oh, she just looks at all of you.
A bit late on that.
Oh, all right then. And she just like tosses the spell over her shoulder, and it just flies out a window. What it's gonna hit? Who can say?
Cephas is gonna try and catch it.
Wow, I can't believe we actually raced a god and won.
And I got distracted. It trying to get to the portal you first walked through.
You mean the one in the Underdark?
Yep. There's a magic wall there. It was very rude to me.
It was a bit funny.
So there's a barrier around the Underdark now.
Yep. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go. Keep trying to break it. And she teleports away, then teleports back, then teleports back in. Oh yes, Carson Korax, X Korax, X right. Have you got that thing? Like thing, you know that.
The Sword of Rimbane?
Yeah, what's its face? Yes, I have it. Although, yeah, pulls out the currently gun of Rimbane, and then makes as if to shift it back into sword form, and then Vierna actually snatches it out of her hands before or that can happen. No, keep it in this form. It like, and Korax is like, oh, Mercy's gonna kill me.
Yes, never talked about what that sword, what that Rimbane weapon is even for.
Not important. It's
Probably taking care of an evil god.
If I may ask a question, Lady Vierna?
Hmm?
I understand that you couldn't make it into the Underdark with there being a barrier and all, but do you at least know the status of our informants?
DM, do I currently know the status of their informants? Also, out of character, what informant? I haven't been watching the Tuesday shows.
Jezebel's brother and Tetsu?
Oh, DM, do I know the status of them?
You've been kind of busy trying to break the barrier, so I don't think you would have been paying attention. But Alex definitely would have, and he'd know they're fine.
I totally do, Alexander. Why don't you tell them?
Flora,
He
we
just
can
kind
hear
of-
you drawing.
But yeah, he just kind of raises an eyebrow at Vierna and he says, "No need to worry. Both of them are fine."
Thank the gods.
Yeah.
Isabel just kind of looks away, but her shoulders seem to somewhat relax a little bit.
All right.
Oh, and one other thing, Corax. X. Damn it! I screwed up the bit where she was going to keep forgetting her name. Oh well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The platinum dragon. I've the platinum dragon has been on me to give you to give one of your people this for a while. I've been stalling to keep studying it, but oh well. And she pulls out a large wrapped package and unwraps it to reveal a sheathed sword.
Friggin' time.
And 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 then Korax, it's clearly like the sword is very clearly of elven make. You know, it's that one of those long and slightly curved deals. Korax narrows his her eyes at it, and then widens. Is that what I think it is? Fiona nods and just tosses it over to Korax.
What is it?
Oh, I'm sure Korax will explain once she gets over the shock. And then Fiona just teleports away in another big blast of green flame.
Hi, Auntie Vienna, Jibble says with a wave and roll of her eyes.
And bye! I still think you should stay away from the creep.
All right. And is there anything else you would like to do, Corax, or are you good for now?
And,
All right. Well,
yeah, like Rox is still staring at it.
all right. We'll come back to you then, later, or whenever. Jezebel.
Oh,
You've just returned.
Jezebel looks kind of sighs as Vienna leaves, not really surprised, and then she glances over to her father. Alex, you would see that she definitely has some scales now that are somewhat hidden a little bit under her horns, but they are definitely on the side of her cheek, down her neck, that hide underneath her cloak. And they're the same color, at least close to yours.
But yeah, once everyone's calmed down and got unsorted out, Alex does look at Jezebel and just immediately runs to her and just embraces her.
Aww.
She somewhat tenses up, giving a awkward kind of look, and then she looks around everybody. She asks a little bit about her. She goes, good to see you too. You don't have to hug me, you know.
I was so worried.
She actually looks a little guilty and just a little almost like touched, and she just slowly wraps her arms around him and awkwardly pats his back. She goes, we were fine. It was rough, but we managed. I knew you or Auntie Vera or somebody would be able to find a way to bring us back.
Just the thought of losing you was just... Alex pulls away and just pinches the bridge of his nose. He's clearly doing his best to stay strong. I'm sorry.
She sighs and she puts a hand on her hip looking away. She wants to say something snarky, but she can see just how stressed out he was, and it's been a while she's seen him this way. And then she can't help but just give a shrug. She goes, well, not that you could bring me back like you did brother this time, could you? Because then everyone else would be very upset with you. More so than they are now.
Well, I don't like to shoot my friends in the foot, but no, their concerns are secondary when it comes to my family.
She then gives a bit of a smirk as she goes, also, I'm pretty sure that Ralph will be nothing compared to mothers, now would they?
There is that. By the way, I should quickly let your mother know. I heard you needed to talk to me for a moment, but just give me a brief second to let her know that you're okay.
She flinches and she goes, "Better you than me. She's not gonna be happy."
I know. Don't worry. I spent 100 years with her. I know what to expect.
He just gives a shrug with a tiny bit of a smile, and then kind of just stays quiet, looking on his way. But she does kind of look down, a little conflicted.
So
But
the
yeah,
response you get is in a very, very sweet voice. She responds with, "That's great. When are you coming around to visit next?"
Alex knows what's coming. I'll come to visit you after I'm done with what I need to do here.
Great. I'll see you then.
See you then. Love you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Somebody's in trouble.
Anything else you would like to do, Jezebel?
She will like to have a moment, well, real quickly, after she's pretty sure that he's given his warning from her mother. She gives a bit of a knowing smirk and then looks conflicted for a second, trying to like figure out what to say, and she goes, "May I speak to you later? In private?" She says, very awkward.
Gives her a nod and says, "I was told you needed to speak with me, so whenever you have the time, let me know."
As long as you're not going anywhere. I know Mother wants to talk to you, but you won't just disappear, will you?
No, I won't. I said to her I'll be around when I'm done here. And by done, I mean when, well, we've had our talk.
Very well then. She says, giving a bit of a shrug, but she still seems a little nervous. A little more so than she usually is. Alright, now I'm done.
All right.
Just a small bit before we finish up.
Okay.
But yeah, Alex just says, whatever it is, you can talk to me about it. I know we've had our differences, but I would like to think that you can talk to me about anything.
Woodward, we're
gives
getting
him
a
a
lot
look.
of background noise.
Yeah.
She gives him a small look, and then she kind of smirks. She goes, "When have I ever held back when I'm trying to tell you how I feel?
There we go. Wear your heart on your sleeve. But yeah, that's that.
Alright. Next up is the NPCs. Scree,
Yeah, that
of
was
course. I'm next on the list. NPCs have got a turn too.
Okay.
Okay, when he said that.
Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm teasing. But I do need to
turn.
I do need to describe what they're doing, of course. So, Scree is running around rapidly, looking at everything, breathing in the air, and he's just like running all over, just absolutely thrilled to be out. In fact, let me just there.
Oh my goodness.
Wait.
Stimulation.
Hey there,
Yes.
please calm down before you pass out.
I'm out. I honestly was expecting you all to betray me. I'm out. And he just keeps going. Even though you told him to calm down, he's still running up and down the walls.
We did promise, and he did help keep us somewhat safe in there. I am getting dizzy just watching him. Does someone please stop him?
You see Cricket walk over, and he just grabs Scree by the back, and then Scree's lifted up, and his legs keep walking in place as Cricket just holds him.
Oh my goodness. Scree, you are experiencing sensory overload.
There's so
Try
much.
to calm down.
There's so much. There's so much. There's so much.
I
Try to breathe.
believe the twins have drugs to help with that.
Just let him be. Let him enjoy his time.
But yeah, Cricket on the other hand is rather the same as always, you know, completely unimpressed with everything.
Might want to keep him in here until he calms down. If we put him outside, he's probably literally going to die.
Clara's like, I'm gonna try something real quick. Oh, it didn't ask for the level, so I clicked it again.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Here?
Scree is now incapacitated.
Ooh, pretty colors.
I suppose
I
that
would
works
draw a more
too.
accurate square, but I'm pretty sure that expresses the intent.
Anyway, that's what those two NPCs are doing. As for Silicis and Rango, Silicis seems to just pluck the portal and it transforms back into a stone. And then she puts it in her pocket. And she heads back over to Rango. And the two begin to just quietly talk about their travel plans.
Sylvester is still staring at them as as Silicis puts the stone in her pocket. Are we just gonna let her keep that? She says to Ozir.
Well, well, I might have to consult with the Lord Bahamut right fast, just in case. But more than likely, he's not going to be happy for her to keep it.
The response you get is, I don't care, I'm in the middle of a card game right now.
No.
Okay.
Ozir
Okay, Grandpa.
Yep. Ozir gives a look of exasperation.
Alright then.
So yeah, those two are quietly discussing their travel plans. And that's...
Is it loud enough for Clara to hear anything?
Sure.
Clara comes over here, so she says, so you guys are leaving then?
Oh, not right now, but we will be eventually.
What's the scale of this eventually?
Whenever we feel like it, really. We'll stay around for a little bit because of you, of course. After all, you're going through your second puberty now.
What?
True.
Yeah,
and they have some sort of abomination.
Oh.
You all talked at once there.
Apparently I'm some sort of eldritch abomination.
We already knew that.
And apparently I can do all these strange things after I go through my second puberty or something like that. Also, I can eat effectively anything.
Please don't test that.
I already have.
I was afraid you'd say that.
So,
at least I'm glad we weren't here when she was testing it.
So, with that said, that's what the NPCs are doing. Now it's Ryu's turn.
Let's see. Ryu is going to. He's going to hug. First, he's going to hug Cicada. It's good to see you're all right.
Same to you. Oh my gosh, I missed you guys so much.
I don't know how long it was for you, but in the short time it was for us, I missed you too. He goes, he's gonna go up to Jezebel, and just tell her, I knew I wasn't gonna be rid of you for long.
She gives a bit of a smirk. She goes, "Miss me?"
Maybe.
She snickers and then can't help but grab the collar of her shirt and pull him in for a hug. Missed you too, Foxy.
And Cicada and I have been alone with her for 3 months. Our time. How much time has passed in this world?
A good few days at the very least.
Yeah, it's been a couple of days.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't Clara have to walk for a week or two?
Yeah. So I'd say it's been about 2 weeks. In total.
It felt so much longer.
For
Pretty
you,
sure
it was.
Oh, great.
We did age quite a bit in there. Wonder if that makes us older or younger now.
I don't think we ever discussed age.
Well, after I've had the little talk with your mother, I'm sure we can organize a earlier birthday, depending on how much time.
We don't know how much time. We had no way of measuring.
Not really, unfortunately. But it definitely didn't feel like 2 weeks.
And to be fair, in a place like that, and in a place like that, anyone would feel like it's an eternity.
Let's put
Alright.
it this way, dear Foxy. While we were in there, we learned the area fairly well quite a few times. That we learned what to avoid, how to avoid it, where to go when we needed to go, and how to keep ourselves alive. As well as you can see, she points to her face, points to Korax, and points to the cute antennas on Cicada's head.
Yeah, those aren't permanent, right?
Be glad it wasn't like it was before, dear. She turns around, pulls up her cape, and shows the holes on the back of her shirt. I had wings before I came over here.
You did?
Really?
Briefly,
Lucky.
they weren't as big as she glances to Alex for a second and then clears her throat and looks away. But they did ruin my clothes, as you can see.
Well, I should be able to figure that out for you. I'll visit our usual tailor and I'll get you a new shirt.
So, is there anything else you would like to do, Ryu?
I think that's it.
Alright, last stop is Telos, and then we can go back to natural roleplay.
And there's Sylvester as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex sighs and he knows that despite how relieved he is to see his daughter, he should give her a little bit of space now. He walks up to Sylvester and pats her on the shoulder. I know you said you were doing it more for your own interest, but I do appreciate you helping. It does mean a lot.
Yeah. No need to thank me or anything.
What? What? I'm not allowed to thank one of my friends for lending a hand when I ask.
I mean, I'm always happy to help. As long as it isn't, like, you know, illegal or anything.
I
Taboo.
know. I know. You've got a thing about meddling.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I meddle as much as I do. Just a young god needs to get himself established.
Indeed.
And then Sylvester, you just hear Vierna in your head. I will never apologize for that.
You shut up. No one asked you.
But
Clara's
yeah,
like, who's that?
That was
Don't.
Bjorn.
personal stuff. But that being the case, we should also make sure they know that if they're not particularly happy with their changes, as I'm sure some are, he looks over to Scree, we could try to do our best to make it a bit more amicable for them.
Are you asking her to build Scree a new body?
No, I'm just merely saying that we may try and fix it.
Stimulation!
I should. But you do notice Sylvester's glancing at Cicada in particular on occasion.
Right. I had a feeling she was your little pet project, as you put it.
Indeed. I'm just glad everybody managed to get out safely. and in one piece.
He leans over a little to whisper, "Would you want some time alone with her, or
No, I don't want to meddle or anything.
right? I'm sorry,
Fine.
but
I do want to talk to this cricket person over here.
well,
Quick.
I'll leave that to you."
Cricket, naturally hearing his name, turns towards you. Seeing as Scree is incapacitated, he will just drop Scree and turn.
Yep.
Okay,
Alex.
She's just giving him a blank stare, just to stare down at him.
Well, I'll leave that to you.
Hmm.
I have a few questions of my own for him, but they can wait.
He stares
That
at you.
first.
Sorry to
You care
interrupt you
about her
there.
a lot. Okay. You care about her a lot, right?
She is my warlock.
Continue to keep her safe, will you?
That was the pact we made.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to know.
And that's it for Alex. He's just waiting for when Jezebel has the time.
Speaking of pacts, he turns towards Cicada and places a hand on her head. There is something you have wanted for a long time, is there not?
What do you mean?
A Kenku's greatest wish is to be able to fly again, is it not?
Well, yes.
Would you like to be able to fly?
Yes! Kid is ecstatic.
Alright. Describe how the wings burst out and how they form and what shape they take.
Okay, so similar to how an Aarakocra has their wings on their back, they do eventually form in like magically form with a lot of feathers and everything. They almost look like moth wings to a degree with like eyes on them, like eye patterns on them, but they're still bird wings. But yeah, Cicada has wings now. On her back.
She has a set of
Isabel-
4 wings. Two
She has a
top
set-
wings, 2 bottom wings. To give the moth
2
look.
wings. Oh my god, 2 wings.
Isabel grins as her eyes finally sparkle and she goes, "They're beautiful."
Cicada's eyes are sparkling with joy.
I'm sure you'll
I
figure
think-
out how to fly on your own. Cricket steps
I've already
back.
been practicing. She goes outside immediately.
Should someone keep an eye on her?
Straight up jumps off a cliff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand casually close with Featherfall at the ready, just in case.
But yeah, it takes you a little bit, but you do eventually figure out how to work your full wings, and well, it's a little wobbly at first because with full wings it's a little hard to balance, but you do eventually get it, and soon enough you're flying around free as a bird. Your flying speed is 60 feet.
I need to add fly to her abilities now.
Nice.
So Vesta is very surprised by this and looks back to Cricket, and she just goes, "You just single-handedly broke the one thing that I've been trying to get rid of this entire time. How do you do it?"
His head slowly turns to her with that same unamused look and he just says, magic.
You gotta show me, man.
You see him give a shrug and then he walks over and he just lightly taps you on the forehead and 4 wings burst forth out of your back as well. Including your dragon wings, so now you got 6 wings.
That doesn't answer my question.
He shrugs.
God. She manages to deconstruct the wings from her back magically. So she's back to her normal self. It's like the wings I can get, the wings I understand, it's the whole having her being able to talk normally.
He just glances over and then says, I just made her not a Kenku anymore.
So you polymorphed her into a full-on Aarakocra then.
He shakes his head. She is Cicada.
You're giving me a lot to think about here, sir.
Caller thinks for a while. She's like, "Oh right. What were you guys? He's here now. So is he made of those 3 stones now? Are you able to tell?"
Oh yes.
Hold on.
In fact, that's probably
So
that's how he probably made the wings. He just magicked, as he said.
Yeah,
so
through
if Cricket dies, 3 schools of magic will cease to exist.
Yep. Fascinating, ain't it?
Oh boy.
That is
Insert
a,
the concern meme.
Concern, indeed.
that is a problem we may have to address at some point.
Yeah, at some point, but for now,
As
I'd
you
say
guys
this is a win.
as you guys are all discussing that, Cricket actually speaks up and then says, conjuration, evocation, transmutation.
Conjure up the wings, transmutate the body, and what was the last one? Sorry.
Evocation.
Evocation.
And bring them to life through evocation.
Still doesn't solve the fact that she now has a spark. And I'm pretty sure Kenkus don't have that. She looks at Scree, he only just barely has a spark.
Yeah.
Also, depending
Well.
on how long it is, Scree still isn't mentally present.
Yeah, he's not mentally here right now.
Cricket just turns to her and says, he's no longer a Kenku.
What? Yeah, you're right. He's kind of an abomination now. No
And
offense.
neither is Cricket. And neither is Cicada. Sorry.
I think what we both learned from this of this is that Eldritch magic is something even we have trouble grasping, it seems.
Agreed. Gosh, why didn't I think of that?
Guess it goes to show how an outside perspective can help.
Absolutely. Now I just feel stupid.
Oh, stop that. You're not stupid. You're very intelligent. I mean, look at half the stuff you create. It's all fantastic.
But yeah, Cicada, under your race section, I want you to put in air quotes. I want you to put Kenku into air quotes.
Okay, hold on.
Because you're a Kenku.
There. Fixed.
Alright. Does anyone else have anything they want to do? Charlotte?
Charlotte's taken off.
After all the events, Charlotte's just gonna head outside. That's
Alright.
it.
You see Cicada practicing with her wings.
Whee!
See, someone's energetic.
I could fly.
I'm glad for you.
I might have something. I need to. Well, I'm still gonna have to talk with Alex, but real quickly, Jezebel notices Charlotte walking out and bursts after her quickly and says, "Charlotte, do you have a moment?"
You want to talk about the cloak you ruined that I made for you?
She opens up her mouth, thinks for a second. She goes, "Okay, something else."
All right, what is it now?
She looks a little awkward as she scratches the side of her face where the scales are at, and she says, "I feel I need to apologize, dear. I may not remember everything that happened, but the reason why we were pulled into that room in the first place was because, to be fair, it was technically Cricket's fault, but I was still his catalyst on pulling you, making you open that portal."
Yeah. That is the events that happen. I don't see a
So,
reason
I can
to
help.
apologize, so.
I believe I do. I'm the one that agreed to become a part of this contract with Cricket. Understand that, of course, I did do it to help protect Cicada. She said that she actually gives a quick, amused smile, seeing Cicada flying in the air. So cute.
Whee!
And then she looks back to Charlotte, looking serious again, and she goes, "But nevertheless, it was still me who actually dragged you over there. I believe I probably should be more specific, where I kind of expected, to be fair, somebody either knocking me out or, worst case scenario, killing me before something like that happened."
You think too lowly of your friends, even if they're not your family. If you think that was going to be the end result, Jezebel.
Or so it would have been something that I would have done, to be fair. And I suppose I feel the need to apologize for that. Had it been probably anybody else, I probably would have done it. But again, I guess everybody kind of knows the way I am now. So due to that, not only am I apologizing for that, but also for the fact that it was me that dragged you over there. May not me specifically, but I was still the person that ended up doing it. So either way, I still feel the need that I should apologize.
I'm not accepting.
Oh?
Sorry. The fact that you mentioned you would kill me in cold blood kind of makes my skin crawl, to be honest. You kind of disgust me, even, Jezebel.
Wouldn't be the first, she says with a bit of a sigh, and she gives a shrug. More so, I wouldn't exactly kill you, as more just incapacitate you, but then again, I would have also been able to find a way to at least make up for that wrongdoing.
Why? Revive me by having your dad do it? I wish I can revive my dead friends.
No, she says with a bit of a frown. I wouldn't go far as to say that. To be honest, I probably would have asked Scree for a favor. Cricket. Since he is my patron and all that, but I wouldn't go so far as to have my father, more so ask a favor from my father for one. Because that's not something I would do. And then I already know what he did was wrong in the first place. It's one of the reasons why I'm upset at him.
Jezebel. What if I killed Cicada?
She looks a bit surprised at that, and then she gives a bit of a scoff as she puts her hand on her hip. What if you did?
How would you react to that? What
She
would
gives
you
a
do
smile.
if you didn't know the murderer? You didn't know where she went. She was just gone one day, never to be seen. What would you do?
You know the answer to that already. After all, that's what drove me for a while until I figured out my brother actually wasn't dead.
Yeah. Usually add more blood to your hands. I don't do that way. I will find, even if they are dead, I will find them again. And that's what matters to me.
Gets her head a bit curious, and then she gives a smile. She goes, "You have changed, and that's good." I only hope that maybe I have too.
Maybe you have, Jezebel. You seem to talk a big game half the time, but I don't see you doing dangerous.
I've come close, she says with a bit of a shrug and just tries to play it off, but she actually does look actually pretty tired. To be honest, I've exhausted myself.
Rage will die out one day, even if it's a long-lasting rage. I'm tired myself. Tired of doing the same stuff all the time. Being angry for no reason. I don't think that's what they wanted.
Well,
But in the end, it wasn't what I wanted.
well, all I can say is just be better than both of us. Even if you don't accept my apology. The thoughts that did go through my head at the time, back to my old self, before going through all this. She points to her face. Made me realize just, of how exhausted I am from holding on to all this. Which is why she gives a sigh as she throws her head back a little bit. I've decided to finally talk to my father.
I'm glad for you. I am.
Don't say that yet. I really don't know what I'm gonna say. Might just turn into another screaming match. We'll see.
Even if it does, at least you made the attempt. That's what matters. Do so while you still have the time.
I'll try.
After all I have to go off now. Charlotte holds off the notebook. It's their last moments and their thoughts.
She looks at the book and then gives an unnatural real smile, glad for Charlotte. And then she thinks something and she looks away with a better frown. She goes, "Oh, great. I just realized there's someone else I need to talk to. Fantastic."
Well, you seem like you're a busy person. You shouldn't be wasting time talking to little old me.
She rolls her eyes as she gives a smile, and then she goes over and lightly smooths down her ears. And she goes, "Oh, please, I always have time for those I care for. You included."
Charlotte gives like an actual smile at that. She seems rather happy that someone's playing with her ears once more. Very well. Then I suggest you read up my manual on what I need for my needs.
You have a manual. That's a first.
Oh, it's complex. It's written in Rapid Folk. I don't think you'll ever understand it fully. But you can try.
Well, you piqued my interest, dear, so I'll have to probably look at this later.
Very well. For now, I'll just watch Cicada. Read my book while I'm at it.
Just make sure she doesn't fall, please. She gives
No
a
problems.
concerned glance for a second.
I have abilities to stop it, so don't worry.
Wonderful, she says, and then gives stops for a second, reaches over and gives Charlotte a quick squeeze and a hug. And she says softly, "Thank you." And then lets her go and then heads inside to go find her father.
As Jezebel walks away, Charlotte just huffs and speaks slowly to herself. If I didn't want you back, I wouldn't have done all this for you to begin with, Jezebel. And then she goes back reading her book.
Laura, we can hear you typing.
Sorry.
Ryu, Korax, would you like to roleplay that out? Or is there more to add? Or
What?
Yep.
You heard Lala, right?
is there more you guys want to talk about there, or are you done?
And he was driven crazy. Like, looks at Clora's parents and takes a step away.
As you look at them, you hear them talking to Clara about their plans. I mean, there's this realm that they have these weird like tentacle dishes. Like there's this one dish that has these tentacles that like can lift your skin off your body and then give you a massage all the way along your body. And they're quite delicious too.
Chloe's like, what?
It's I mean, if you can get past the pain, it's actually quite nice.
And you eat it?
Well, yeah, once it's finished, it'll die, so you eat it.
Okay.
Korax.
Yeah.
Listening to that woman talk makes Clora's music sound like a lullaby.
All right. You done? Or
And how long is she going to be staying with us?
I have no idea. I try not to say anything to her because, well, you see what happens when she starts talking.
Great.
so, Jezebel, you wanted to do something, or do you
talk
want
to
to,
her father.
or do you want to save that for later roleplay? It's up to you.
Doesn't matter. But real quickly though, as she passes by, she does overhear a little bit of what was said. She looks to Clara. She goes, "But look, Clara, we did meet your sister."
Oh, you did?
Yes, but kind of like. No offense to what I've heard about your parents. She was a little cryptic on what she wanted, and we kind of attacked her. I hope that's okay, and we do apologize.
Oh, no, that's fine. She would have probably eaten your brains anyway. I mean, there's a reason why she's grounded, you know?
Yeah.
Uber, always eating brains, that one.
Hearing this, Ryu brings a hand to his mouth and says, "As the evidence sure proved as much."
Like, I swear, she just would not stop eating the brains. She's not even a mind flayer, she just really likes them. And it was really weird. And she kept stalking us, like following us through realms, and so we grounded her. We just needed the personal space, you know? And I mean, I figured she'd probably enjoy it there, you know? The realms, just like her, you know? She's very much
Still back-
at home.
Still putting distance between in herself and them.
I mean, if she ever apologizes for the brain incident of a Gamma Zelta, and then you all take one psychic damage as they say a name that none of you can comprehend, except the gods, and the name that said terrifies you.
Does Clara still take the damage?
You don't.
Okay. Just making
Mm.
sure.
You hear
Jezebel
it.
holds her head.
See what I mean?
Watch your language.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. You guys can't speak Eldritch.
Not this again. I'm sorry I asked.
Oh, we're gonna have to teach you Eldritch one of these days, Clara. You know, we gotta get you to know the difference between your Yogg-Sothoth and your Yogg-Sothars.
Which are
Oh, one will eat you and one will hug you.
If they
that's
th-
strange.
if they teach her Eldritch, we're gonna end up having migraines every 5 minutes.
Then we'll have to make sure they don't do any more near us, Jezebel mumbles as she pats Ryu's shoulder and then starts continuing walking towards her dad.
Okay. Well, can Cicada learn memory modification spells? I wonder.
Regardless of
Potentially.
that,
You'll have to ask her when you'll have to ask her when she gets tired of flying.
I
So-
never thought I would condone such magic under any circumstances, but our need is great now.
Jezebel, you wanted to talk to your dear daddy?
Mm-hmm. She walks over to him awkwardly and she goes, I suppose we can talk now. Slightly away from everybody, if that's okay with you.
That's perfectly fine.
I will
He
be
just
with
gives
you
a shrug
always.
and then walks to the corner.
Cicada looks to you as you all both leave and just says, I will be with you always.
Cicada?
Cricket.
Cricket,
Cricket.
sorry. Too many C names.
I know.
Cricket
What do we
Chlorocore
do?
actually it's a tongue twister it's a tongue twister, this group.
Yeah, but yeah, Cricket says that as you're heading over to find somewhere to talk.
Jezebel just sighs and she gives the okay symbol over her shoulder but doesn't respond to him.
Once I get into a proper place to have a private conversation, Alex says, "Alright then, by all means."
He crosses her arms over her chest, tapping her foot, like, in her anxiety, actually showing a little bit of, like, her dad's side for a second, because she's not too sure how to start. And she goes, You know I'm still upset with you, Riss.
He nods. And you have every right to be.
So I believed, and so I held a grudge for a while, just because of the fact that for a very, very long time, I always questioned why you never helped me or even bothered looking into the fact that brother was apparently, she quotation marks, murdered, and didn't help me find the murder for years. Years, Father, I looked, thinking that there was a murderer. You never bothered to at least tell me that I didn't need to look, or that maybe give me a hint? I wasted a good couple years looking, I hope you know.
I'm well aware, Jezebel. And I am deeply, deeply sorry for that. It's just the way how your brother looked at me when he made me promise not to tell you or your mother, it hit something inside me. You know I'm a flawed man, and I'm willing to admit that. But at the same time, I know that it doesn't change the fact that I still hurt you. I hurt your mother, and I've hurt your sister, and I've hurt my family. I can't forgive myself for that. And I just want you to know that even if all I did for love I did out of love for you, your brother, everyone that we know, I still hurt you all. And I'm so very sorry.
Gives a sigh as she kind of shakes her head looking downward. I know you're sorry. But the fact of the matter is that she gives a scoff with an ironic smile. You keep saying you're a flawed man, even though technically you're not a man. You do remember that, right? You're also a god. And the fact that you keep forgetting that It is funny.
Well,
You chose this, Father, to be also a god and a family man. But unfortunately, you're doing a terrible job of balancing both.
I know, and I've realized that, and, well, I've actually resolved to address that.
Oh?
Once all these issues that we have with the tears and everything are all sorted, I'm thinking of going dormant as a god for about a century.
She looks a little bit surprised at that. She goes, never thought I heard you say that. Thought you liked being a god.
Well, it means that I can help people and that I can try and make the world a better place. I mean, your mother's probably already told you, but I've actually was almost single-handedly responsible for abolishing slavery on the surface.
I know. She says, looking down a bit. Mother's told me in her letters.
But at the same time, you are right. I made the choice to be a father and a god as well. And, well, unlike what Auntie Vierna thinks, I can have my cake and eat it too in that situation. Being a god of protection and a god of freedom is not contradictory. You cannot have one without the other. Just as, well, how I see it, I can't be a god without my family. Because it was my family at the end of the day that, well, caused me to strike out on my own when originally I was an adventurer. So I guess
Looks up a little bit more at him when he says this. Still being quiet, but listening.
So I guess it's just my long-winded way of saying I meddle as much as I do because I care about my family, and, well, now that my religion has been properly settled, I've got the people in power that I trust the most, who I believe have good judgment. Once all this is sorted, I think it's about time I took a bit of an extended holiday.
She narrows her eyes a little bit in suspicion for him. She goes, a god taking a break? Not sure I've ever heard of that. Are you even allowed to do that?
Oh, it's a lot more common than you think. A lot of gods spend periods being active and dormant. It's actually much more common than you would reckon.
She kind of like stares him down just to see if there's any like BS in his words. But she can tell, even without the insight, that he means it as her gaze somewhat lessens a bit and she goes, you're serious.
He just kind of gives a small smirk and he says, serious like a heart attack.
She rolls her eyes. Dad jokes.
Even I've rolled my eyes at that.
She looks thoughtful quietly for a minute, and then she looks actually a little sad, and she says, I still can't quite forgive you for not telling me the truth all these years. Because I'm pretty sure you know the anger and hatred I felt for the supposed murderer was all that drove me for a while. Yes, I still had my task of helping Lady Rura and the Still Dragons, and that had become my focus for a while. But then after hearing about the murder and the fact that you allowed it to happen the way I used to think, drove me for years. And now that basically I know the truth, and after going through literally hell and back, I find I'm not mad at you anymore.
Well, that does honestly mean a lot, Jezebel. I know you said you can't forgive me, and I don't expect you to. Just... it's really good to know that you don't hate me.
She looks bashful. She goes, I never really hated you. I was just mad at you for keeping it a secret. I know I made it feel like I did, but in the end, no matter how frustrating you can be, you're still my father. I never hated you. and I'm
Alex-
sorry if that's the way it came out from.
Alex smiles. He actually looks like he's kind of holding some tears back a little bit. And you'll always be my daughter.
She looks bashful for a second, looking downward, awkwardly, not really knowing what to say. She goes, "Of course I am. You and all my other sisters, including my pain in the butt brother, who, by the way, I punched in the gut, and I'm going to punch him in the face next time I see him." So I'm mad at him too.
How was he doing last you saw him?
Apparently okay. He's what, a drow now, right? Yes. With a
Yes.
boyfriend? You know he has a boyfriend, right, Dad?
He was a little bashful about admitting that to me, but
I don't like him, Jezebel says, pointing a finger. He's weird. And he lied to me as well.
But he
But you,
doesn't. But he doesn't. But it's not.
It's canon now.
No.
Yes.
No.
But Alex raised his hands. And said, in all seriousness, though, your brother's been a very strong person to go through all of this. I put a lot on him, a lot that I really didn't want to, but for the sake of the people we care about and for the world that we live in, it was something that I kind of needed to be done. But that's neither here nor there at the moment.
she just sighs, shaking her head, and she goes, "Well, either way, I still need to talk to him as well." She gives a sigh as she actually looks like her walls are down, and she just closes her eyes, looking really upset. "I'm just tired. I've held on to this hate and this anger for so long, and now that I know it was misdirected, I'm still upset, but I'm also just tired of being mad."
Alex rests a hand on her shoulder and just gently pulls her into another hug. It's okay to give yourself a break, Jezebel. It's something that I had to learn a long time ago. It's okay to let yourself just breathe, relax. Even if it feels like you need to act constantly in order to make sure that the world doesn't fall apart. You'll be okay. You need to take care of yourself as much as you try to take care of other people.
She doesn't really, she's a little tense in his arms, but he still starts to relax, but her shoulders do seem to shake just a tiny bit, and you can feel it. And she actually gives a upset smile. She goes, "I'm not a good person. I've done a lot of really bad things coming all this way. I'm not like you."
Well, and I'm not judging you for that. Because you want to know why?
She kind of glances up to him silently to hear what he has to say.
Because it's a father's job to always love their children no matter what they do.
Her eyes widen just a tad bit, and actually some tears actually do come into her eyes as her lip trembles, and she just immediately buries her face into his chest and wraps her arms around him, actually hugging him tight.
Alex returns the hug and he doesn't say anything more, just rubbing the back of Jezebel's head.
Oh.
Partway as she's crying, she kind of like pokes him in the back, and she mumbles into his shirt, "Don't tell anyone I cried. I will kill you."
I promise, sweetheart. And this is one little secret that I'm okay with keeping.
Just a quick little sniffle, and then she pulls back up and just rapidly rubs her eyes and looking downward awkwardly. She actually does look exhausted now. She looks like she's about ready to pass out.
You're lucky your skin is so red. If your friends caught you blushing as much as you have these past couple of minutes.
She frowns at him and then gives him a little bit of an elbow check to the stomach. "Shut up."
Well, just take what I said to heart, alright? Give yourself a break, let yourself to rest.
He just
Take it.
gives a nod, looking downward.
And hey, if you're ever worried about if you're a good person or not, just focus on what matters to you. You've done right by your friends. You've done right by your family, haven't you?
Question that sometimes, but my family and these bunch of interesting weirdos, she says, looking to Cricket, and then looking to Clora, and now Scree.
Devessa is currently looking over Scree at the moment, still
Yeah.
pondering something.
Well,
They've tolerated me so far, so hopefully that's a good thing.
I'll leave you with some words from a bard I once met a couple of years ago. I've been a sinner, I've been a saint, done both good and evil deeds, but in the end I was good to my friends, and that's good enough for me.
She actually smiles and up to him, grateful. She goes, "Thank you. I'll try to remember that."
Feels good to get the weight off your chest, isn't it?
It's exhausting. I am ready for bed.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling all too well. Maybe you find yourself, maybe Osier and the Platinum Dragon can afford you all some rooms to stay. Maybe a curl up with a nice little book.
She gives a bit of a smile and she goes, I'll find something else to curl up with. Question is, though, can we fit with those new wings?
Also,
Yeah.
like, Cricket's house is just right outside, by the way.
Well, you also have a giant house out front, but you know, he just raises his hand and is like, "Hey, do what you gotta do."
She remembers something and she looks over to Alex sheepishly as she scratches the side of her cheek with the scale. She goes, "I hope it's not too awkward that I decided to have Cricket as my patron. To be fair, I only did it because I wanted to protect someone."
Sweetheart, your father used to deal with packs of this eldritch kind for years before he became a god proper. This isn't anything new to me.
Well, it's new to me. Didn't really think I was going to do this, but I'm learning.
I guess it just comes naturally to me since it's how I grew up. But so far, from my understanding, Cricket seems like he's relatively benevolent. Still a lot of question marks around him, but, you know.
Indeed, and he did get us out of there, kept his word. He's basically a child, but...
Speaking of Cricket, as you both glance over, you see Cricket currently just looking at his back as his wings split open and become 4, then 6, then 8, then 6, then 12, then 4.
Too many wings, man.
And then at one point he's just like, he just poof, and he's just an entire mess and ball of wings.
Just gives a deadpan face watching, and she goes, yeah. I'm still trying to figure him out.
I'm hungry for chicken.
Do you say that in character?
I am outside.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
But Alex does sign. He says, "Well, anything else you need to talk about?"
She looks thoughtful. She goes, "No, I've had enough emotions for one day. Probably a year."
Well, I've got plenty more to spare since I need to go and see your mother soon, so...
She actually looks a little... what's the word I'm looking for?
Apprehensive?
Content? Or happy? No, hold on.
Apprehensive?
No, she actually is enjoying the fact he's going to get a lecture from their
Mischievous?
mother. Yes, usually. What's the word? I know I have it. It's at my tongue. Hold on.
I feel
Satisfied.
mischievous is so deep.
Mischievous and also satisfied the fact that he's actually going to be getting the whooping that he deserves.
Okay.
Yeah,
I need
she
something.
just gives a smirk as she goes, "Good luck. I don't envy you."
Well, I'm gonna need it, but well, you don't spend over a century together with each other over, well, something like this, I guess.
Oh, she looks off for a second and then she says, "Also, let me know the status of my supposedly new baby sister. I don't know how much time has passed since we've been stuck in that realm. So if they are indeed already been born, let me know so I can send mother a gift."
I'll let you know. Alex makes sure no one's watching, and he kind of leans down and gives Jezebel a kiss on the forehead. See you later, sweetheart.
She looks shocked and then she actually does kind of pout. She goes, "I'm not a kid anymore."
But you'll always be my little baby girl.
She kind of grumbles, looking embarrassed as she just abruptly walks away.
As you walk away and pass by Cricket, who has gone back to 2 wings, he looks at you and then says, "Keeping that quiet will cost you."
She jolts for a second and then slowly turns and glares at Cricket. "You wouldn't."
He begins to just walk towards Cicada.
Isabel looks
Cicada's
frantic
outside,
and
yeah.
she runs after him.
Okay. As everybody moves out, Sylvester is currently watching over Scree at the moment, and she wants to try.
Alright, I'll get to that in a second. I just want to do this quick scene with Jezebel.
Okay.
So yes, Cricket is heading out.
Jezebel runs after him and she grabs his cloak and pulls him back and says, "What's the price?"
He glances back and then says, "I will tell you later."
She looks taken back for a second, wondering if he's like serious, like is it something serious or not. But then she kind of grumbles as she goes, "Fine."
Then the deal is
And very
made.
roughly, she looks a little upset and then roughly like pushes him away from her and then just stalks around him and heads outside.
Later on, no, I'll do it in a bit. Alright, so you go to Scree. He's still just staring up at the ceiling in awe.
Okay. There was evocation, conjuration, and transmutation. I don't think I can properly change out the whole eldritch mutations that much, but maybe if I just... She holds out her hand, pats his head, and tries to perform a miracle by giving him wings.
You see his eyes blast open wide as 2 jet black wings burst out of his back. And his mouth unhinges in shock as he just goes, "What?"
Calm down.
My goddess.
Wait. Since she inspects his spark of inspiration that everybody has, and his has grown bigger, it is now normal. And
He has immediately jumped to his feet and gone, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," and he's gone.
okay. Oh my god.
You
Oh
all
my
see
god, that
Cricket.
loophole actually works.
You all see Cricket jump off a cliff.
What?
Wait.
You mean Scree?
Scree, sorry.
Does anyone want to go get him?
I'll get him.
A moment later, he's flying through the air, he's like, I can fly! You know, doing the same thing Cicada was just shortly before.
Yeah,
Never mind then.
Sylvester also comes back outside to inspect her work, her work, and she's smiling.
Okay,
I can't
want
believe
a little.
that loophole actually worked.
Great. Jezebel looks at Sylvester for a second, confused. Just now noticing her, by the way. And she leans over to Ryu. She goes, "Who's that?"
Hi.
That's Sylvester, the god of creation.
Yep, that's
Excuse
me.
me?
Hello.
Jezebel blinks and she goes, "Why are there so many gods here today?"
Because we're in the Platinum Palace.
So this
Yeah,
is like
that's
where all
my
y'all hang out.
grandfather lives. Yeah.
So this is
My-
like the hangout place for gods.
This is where my grandfather lives. You know, Bahamut, Platinum Dragon. He's my grandpa.
Again, so the hangout place for gods.
Yes.
Pretty much.
She just gives a shrug. She goes, "Okay, noted." So at least now I know probably where to find my father when he goes on one of his expeditions.
Yeah, I wouldn't make the climb if I were you. It's not worth it for mortals.
We have a
Well,
flying house.
I'm not. Well, we have that one, but I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about where I can probably send Mother when she's looking for him. She says with a mischievous grin.
Alex does call out. On that note, I better go and see the missus. You all have a good day, and I'll be back at some point. Probably won't be in time to see you all off, but best of luck on your endeavors. Jezebel,
see-
make. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, see you later, Alex.
See you,
All right.
Sylvester. Jezebel, make sure to say thank you to Auntie Sylvester. And with that,
Please do. Oh God, please do not call me auntie. I am not ready to be an aunt.
Cricket looks
Well-
directly at you and then says, Auntie Sylvester.
Oh my God.
But-
Why?
Alex kind of gives a bit of his own mischievous grin and just snaps his fingers and teleports out.
Now everybody's gonna make fun of me.
So I have
Clara
another
looks at her
aunt
and,
then.
and she's like, haven't you been like alive for like eons?
Yes, but I can still be embarrassed by things.
I mean, you see my father, right? She says to Clara with a shrug.
So,
Yeah, he's been causing me no end of trouble.
anything else you want to do
Same.
with Sylvester, or are we good to move on? You
Yes,
good?
he's just going to just observe her handiwork.
Embarrassed God sounds. Alright, I'll move you all to Kriga's home then. Ryu and... Oh, wait, not Ryu, Korax.
Okay, first of all, new token, please.
Yep, I'll change that over, sorry.
All right. Since that's it for me. Should I bow out here or?
You can stick
lessen the
around for
clutter?
now. I mean, there's only
Alright.
30 minutes left, so.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I'll just keep quiet.
Korax, I'm getting you token, don't worry.
In the meantime, Korax walks over to Cicada. If you're done for the moment, holds out the sword that Vierna gave him. Can you identify this to make sure I'm not dreaming?
Yeah, sure. Just give me 10 minutes. Can you watch Scree in the meantime?
Sure.
He's flying in circles, doing loop-de-loops, and then vomiting on the grass, and then going back up. But, yeah, you identify it, and it is a moon blade. I haven't prepared the information for it yet, but Korax already knows I've already sent Korax the information, so all you need to know is it's a legendary artifact that only elves can use. of neutral goal
Oh.
alignment.
I don't. Well, we're ignoring alignment, I believe, but I don't even. Where did Vienna get one of these?
You mean Elves and Charlotte? Winky face.
So,
I don't. Mm-mm.
are you done,
Ugh.
Corax, or is there more?
Korax is just staring at it for a while. Oh, this is going to take some time to process.
So, while that's going on, Charlotte, is there anything you want to do?
Yeah.
Go for it then.
Charlotte, reading the last page of the book. As she lands over to the house once more. Which has wings, by the way, for people who don't know about that yet.
Yeah, the house has wings
Uh-huh.
now.
Everything has wings now.
Everything.
I mean, I
I
can
don't
give
have
you...
wings.
Cricket actually glances over. I can give you wings for a price.
No thanks.
A
Just
moment
no
later,
matters.
actually, redact that cricket bit. A moment later, wings burst forth out of your back, Clara. And then they drop off.
Second puberty.
She's gonna start trying to mend her shirt.
Alright, Charlotte. You were doing a thing, I'm sorry.
Okay. It's fine. She looked very deeply into the book. And then she stops. She stops moving. Her hand still trembling. Her eyes widen. And then she drops it. Charlotte, a wave of emotions suddenly hits her. Unable to know what to really do with them. She starts panicking. Tears start running down her eyes. And she starts screaming. Well, it wasn't a harsh scream, it was more like heavy breathing.
Are you okay?
Charlotte looks Cicada, and you see like a very confused look. She doesn't really respond initially.
She holds out her hand.
Charlotte looks back down. I need a moment, I'm sorry. Cicada. This is a lot to unfold on me.
Well, if you need anything, just call. Okay?
What have I been doing?
Do you need a hot beverage? Or do you just need company?
Coffee, please.
Okay. She goes in to quickly make a coffee for her.
Coffee.
You come out with a cup of coffee.
you want to talk about it?
Hmm. Ah, I just, I'm not sure how I can talk about it. Charlotte just hands over the book.
Uh, Cicada looks at the book.
Do you show Cicada the final page?
Not initially. I showed her the middle page.
Okay. It looks to be a diary about a girl who's, complaining about her friend who's always tripping down those stairs. Charlotte fell down the stairs again. She's such a klutz.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Last page.
The final pages mention her looking for Charlotte and having found a lead relating to a vampire coven. I know we'll meet again. I won't stop searching for her.
Honest at her old home.
Is this someone you know?
This is someone very important to me, Takeda. That writing was fresh. She was in London, or the Elven City. I'm sorry. I'm thinking London from Silo's thing.
I guess she's still looking for you.
Yeah. Dry wait in the Elven City.
Well, from what I remember, you don't like the Elven City very much, do you?
So,
Never did.
the writing isn't that recent. If you remember, the building was abandoned.
Yeah, it's more recent than the rest of it. That's what I'm
Okay,
assuming.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more recent because it's the last page.
Exactly, but it's
Yeah.
Charlotte's jumping to conclusion.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah. I don't know what she's looking for, but I'm gonna go find her.
We can help you go look for her if you want.
After the way I talked to Jezebel, I don't think would be the best thing, but maybe I'll talk to her again. Guess I owe her an apology.
Well, we've already been through a lot together, so I think it's fair to say we're more than willing to help you.
I'll mention it to her whenever the time's right.
Okay. Just take your time, okay?
Yeah. I'll try. Sure, motions for the book once more.
She hands the book back.
I really shouldn't have shown that. So. Charlotte shrugs. I wasn't too sure how to process that.
I'm sure it's still a lot to process. I mean, I'm still processing having wings now.
That's a big deal, I know.
Yeah, it's a big deal. This is also a big deal, though. But it's okay to take it one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's head inside. I can skip the workshop for the day.
Okay.
So, is there anything, except for Jezebel, is there anything anyone else would like to do before we wrap this session up? Except for Jezebel.
Ryu
Korax.
actually.
You go first.
As a matter of fact, Ryu was wanting to walks over to talk to Jezebel, and tells her, "Hey, Jez."
Hmm? She's slightly half asleep on the table and she blinks and looks up to Ryu.
I've been needing to ask my grandfather something, but I think this topic concerns you as well.
Oh? Me, your grandfather? I promise nothing is going on. He's too old for me.
No, something about. Remember when you mentioned Kagura and Rua in those sendings?
Oh, she actually looks a little more awake at this. Yes?
Now that everyone's back, I think it's time to get some answers.
She looks a little bit surprised. She goes, What kind of answers, dear?
Why he brought them up? Why he brought them of all people up while we were trapped in that world?
She looks downward for a second and thoughtful, and she goes, Perhaps if you can wait just a little bit more longer before you confront him, let me send a letter to Lady Rura.
I'll be waiting at the stairs.
I mean a little longer than that, dear, because I need to be able to have her respond to it. I think I might see what you want to do, but as I warned you before, it's not usually a good idea to wake certain beings. Remember I told you that?
If this is about him and the steel dragon thing, I'm not sure, I'm not sure this is going to trigger anything.
Are you certain? Because if he did mention it, that means that he might have some kind of idea. You need to tread carefully, because you could accidentally wake him. If he is one.
All I know is he wanted to tell me something concerning both Rura and Kagura. As far as I know, the steel dragons have nothing to do with it.
She gives a bit of an ironic laugh. She goes, maybe a little more than you think, but she sighs and she goes,
Think about it. Kagura and Rura traveled together. If something happened to one, then something may have happened to the other.
She actually looks a little surprised at this, and then concerned, she goes, You have a point. You do. Just keep in mind, though, dear, that Lady Rura and Kagura did have at least one main thing in common. And she's told me this plenty of times. And that was the person that was, let's just say, very close to both of them. And it does indeed still involve the Steel Dragons. I guess all I can say is tread carefully with what you say until we know the full extent of what he wanted to say. Promise me that.
I'll try.
In the meantime, I better either way still send a letter to Lady Rura. I don't know how much time has passed, and I think I might have not checked up with her in a while. She might be worried as much as I was. Oh dear. She looks full, and then she immediately gets up and she goes, Rest can wait. I better get started on that letter.
Alright then.
So, you're heading up to talk to your grandfather, yes?
Yes.
Alright, before that, Corex, you wanted to do something?
Korax is going to try to to attune to the Moonblade.
Alright, you do so. Victory noises. Do 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 do.
As easy and as as easy as that.
I mean, the Moonblade's not going to be picky after being surrounded by filthy drow.
Korax just puts it back down on the table, and as the new rune forms on it, Korax is just gonna put it back down on the table and just stare at it for a moment.
In fact, you actually hear it say that. It says, I mean, considering you're a paladin of the Platinum Dragon, I really can't be that picky after being surrounded by drow for a century.
It talks.
It talks.
Yeah, but only to me.
Ah,
What am I gonna do now?
Well, as long as you use me for the right reasons, I'm perfectly happy with this.
I need to think. I need to think for a bit.
Of course. The blade falls silent. Is that all?
Yeah.
Alright. Ryu, you knock on the door to your grandfather's room, and the door swings open as you knock to reveal an empty room with a note on the bed.
He goes up and reads it.
I've been having these odd visions and dreams as of late. And there's really only one person who has the answers. So I've set off to find this Rura. I'll be sending you when I have more details. I didn't want to disturb your quest to save the others. That always has priority. Elnath.
He immediately takes the note and rushes back downstairs. Jez,
What?
it's my grandfather. Turns out
He's kidnapped again.
No, he left a note saying he's on his way to visit Rura himself.
My god, he's kidnapped himself! He's becoming self-aware!
I know.
That's impossible. Elnath will never be self-aware as long as he lives.
Well, that letter might change this. Rua stops for a second as she was like about to write her own letter, and then she groans and then she slams her head on the table and she goes, "Oh, fantastic! More problems to deal with."
Wait,
And I
Elnath
thought I
is
could
gone?
rest.
Oh, that was
Wait,
rather quick.
Ryu places the note on the table next to her, saying, "He left this. Anything you can make of it?"
She looks to the letter, skims over it real quickly. Seems he's starting to wake up, she says with a groan. Well, good news is he's going to go find her. She's probably the safest person that any of the steel dragons, she says with a shrug, could find. Thing is, though, he's going alone.
We have to catch up to him.
Do you even know which way he's going?
We know where he's going, and you know where she is.
Not always, dear. She says she lifts her head up. When Lady Rua is reincarnated, she stays with my family, but she's older now, and usually she goes off when she's old enough to go on her own. I don't think she's still with them. I could check, but even then, that's going to take some time.
Well, is there anywhere you can think of that Rura frequents, and even Ruro's frequented over the past 100 years? Anywhere at all?
Usually, I would say my family, but she looks thoughtful for a second, and then she gets an idea. She goes, "Give me a moment," and then she's going to try to telepathically talk to Alex. And she's going to say, "Father, I know you're probably being yelled at by Mother right now, but quick question: do you know where Lady Brua is?"
Hmm.
God, please answer us in our time of need.
But yeah, you just hear Alex kind of fumbling a little bit. And he says, "What? Oh, Rura, she's down by the Wizard's Tower. She was heading into the forest to the west, actually, to the west of it."
Perfect, thank you. To Mother, I said hi. And she opens her eyes. She goes, "All right, good news. He knows."
And before you hang up, you just hear Jezebel says hi, and they hang up.
she kind of just yeah, he's getting yelled at for sure. Anyway, and she looks back up to Ryu. Apparently, she went to the forest by the Wizard's Tower. Whether or not your grandfather is heading that way, our best bet would probably be to find her. And if he's not with her, then we can definitely try to have her assistance to find them. She has many skills and has dealt with centuries of helping out still dragons. Although it is probably safe to say, dear Ryu, that your grandfather probably is indeed a still dragon. For sure.
Force west of the Wizard Tower. There's only one place I can think of where she'd be going. The hidden Kitsune village. She's visiting my home.
Your home?
She must be.
You have any idea why she would go there?
Maybe it has to do with her history with Kagura.
Ooh, meeting two of them in one place would be interesting. Would make sense.
Well, if they're both there, then that means we can figure out what grandfather was trying to tell us earlier when we were back on that world.
Does Elnath even know where he's going?
That's the concern, isn't it? She says with a troubled
Yeah.
smile.
That's the big question.
With his record the way it is, we either need to track him down first and help him probably get there, because we know where Lady Brua is, or go to apparently your home, dear Ryu, and see if maybe we can either beat him or meet him there.
We have sending. We could just ask him where he is and say, "Hey, we'll pick you up."
He might not answer me.
Well, you can still send it to him, and he doesn't have to answer.
That's true. At least give him as passive direction as you can, please, and hope that he follows it.
All right. He puts a hand up to his ear. Grandfather, I saw your note. As far as we asked Alex, and as far as I can tell, she's heading towards the Kitsune village.
There's a long bit of silence. And then you get a simple answer. Yes, I know. I'm heading there right now.
Ryu slowly
I'm not done.
takes his...
Don't follow me.
Ryu brings his hand down from his ear and just lets it slump back to his side. He's heading there already. He told us not
Good
to
then.
follow him. He told us not to follow him. That
Ooh.
can't be good.
Huh. She taps her chin thoughtfully. That's curious, isn't it?
He told you not to follow him. He didn't tell any of us not to follow him.
Well, whether it's me or us, whether it's me or you guys, we're going after him. If this concerns my home,
You, dear? She holds up a hand. No one said we're not going. And neither are we going to stop you either. And then she gives a grin. After all, it has been a little while since I've touched up with Lady Rura. Might be best to check up on her. And if we just so happen to also meet your grandfather along the way... Whoops.
Either way, if we chase your grandfather, you're just chasing us chasing your grandfather.
let's not. My freaking is my page lagging? I think my page is lagging. I can't click anything out.
Just keep talking.
Anyway, Ryu heads storms outside to look for Cricket.
You find him?
Cricket, we need to go to the Wildlands now.
Okay. He slowly walks over to the owlhead and just says, "Go to the wildlands." Meow. Okay. Meow. And the island begins to take into the air and fly off.
Well,
So has the cat head turned into an owl cat head then?
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
But
More birds.
Isabel just sighs and gives a bit of a shrug. She goes, well then, at least we know where we're going now. Hoping nobody minds the detour. And she gives an excited grin. Get to see Lady Rura again. This'll be fun.
Indeed. By the
So-
way, does anyone want Harlequin? I'm likely not going to be needing it anymore.
Oh? Did you attune to the blade?
Yes, and it's what I think it was. Yes, and it's what I thought it was.
What is it?
It's called a moonblade. It's important. It's very important to my people, and when one lets you attune to it, it's kind of a big deal.
How big of a deal?
I'm a wild mage who just got chosen by a moonblade, a Jezebel. I don't even want to guess what the court's reaction is going to be.
I mean, I've never really got the sword space to you, Korax. I mean, I never really got the aversion to wild magic myself. I mean, magic is magic, you know? I mean, I'm
Well, my
technically a
magic
form of wild magic myself.
I blew up Galatine. I blew up my wet nurse when I was a baby. They're right to fear it.
Guillotine? Who's that?
It's the sword's name.
Wait, the sword can talk?
You named it?
It told me its name.
It can talk?
Your sword can
In my
talk?
head. In my head, but yes.
Jezebel goes over and feels Corax's forehead. Are you alright, dear?
It's magic, Jezebel. I'm fine. Now, back to the original question: does anyone and does anyone want Harlequin? I'm not going to be needing it anymore, although it served me very well.
Well, go on.
Sell it.
Well, you guys can decide what to do with it later. For now, is that everything everyone wanted to do before we wrap this session up? Except for you,
Yep.
Jezebel. Okay. In that case, we can do a scene.
No.
Let me just change the music. Nope. Not that one. Fine, let's try this one. I gotta find the right music, it's important.
Oh boy.
Oh
I'm afraid what you're
boy.
gonna choose.
This will do. This will do.
Uh,
So, while everyone is going to sleep, including an exhausted Scree, everyone else
And cicada.
and Cicada, everyone else has begun to head upstairs and head to bed. Cicada, you've actually been asked by Cricket to wait behind while everyone else goes to bed. And you can actually see he's in the kitchen making something.
Okay.
As he's cooking, Jezebel, would you like to come down the stairs?
I must. You're kind of footsteps coming down. As she comes down, you just hear one quick exasperated sigh. And she walks downward, and you see. Wait, Cicada's down there, right?
Yep, Cicada is waiting because Cricket told her to wait.
Okay. She comes down, and she blinks surprised for a second, and she goes, Cicada? And you see her wearing a very pretty fancy red dress. She looks around
Fancy.
for a second. She goes, "Where's Cricket?"
You see Cricket come out of the kitchen holding some actually decent looking food. Like, there's food that is both Cicada's favorite and food that's Jezebel's favorite. And he begins to set the table, lighting some candles.
My God.
Jezebel watches him for a second, a little bit confused, and then sees the candle, and then her eyes widen, and she goes, "Ah, I see now."
He then turns around and looks at you and says, 1 hour. And then he walks out the door and locks it behind him. And in fact, you see a magical barrier form at the stairs as well.
Oh boy.
She's inside. She's secretly trying to contemplate on whether she wants to punch Cricket later or not. But then she kind of sighs and she goes, "Well then, not what I expected, but..." And she smiles as she walks over to Cicada and puts a hand on her hip. And she goes, let's just say this was the price I needed to pay in order to keep his silence."
Wait. Is this a date?
She can't help
Like-
but give a bit of a teasing smirk, and she leans down close again. She goes, "Only if you want it to be."
Oh my God. If birds could blush. Oh goodness.
But she does kind of lean forward, giving Skate Spray the shield. So she goes, "I don't want to push you in anything, dear, of course. And don't feel like as if our dear..." She glares to the locked door. Patron outside there to force you into anything you don't want to do."
Okay. You just want to hang out?
She gives a big old smile. She goes, "Of course, dear. I always love hanging out with you." What? Bergs can blush?
Okay.
So Jezebel walks over and, like, with the kind of smooths her dress down as she sits in the at the table and scoots in, and then she looks where she goes, "You really went all out with this. Well, he may not be my master chef, but I don't want to waste food, of course."
Yeah, he really did. He's got
Surprisingly,
raspberries.
Surprisingly, he pays more attention than I thought he did. The fact that he knows both yours and my favorite food.
He learns quick.
Well, because he's so silent, he observes everything. Some would find that
Yeah.
creepy.
It's endearing, I guess.
To an extent. But I'm starting to kind of learn to deal with it, I suppose.
Yeah.
She just sighs and then she looks at the kid. She goes, "So, you like your new wings?"
Yes. I've been flying around for an hour.
Indeed, it was nice to see you so happy.
Eh. Blushing even more.
Soon, you'll be able to meet, I guess you can say maybe not client, even though I do work for her sometimes. You'll be able to meet Lady Brewer here pretty soon. She too loves to fly.
Another bird person.
Indeed, she's an Aarakocra, so she's flown her majority of her life. So you'll have a flying buddy.
Eh. That'd be really nice.
She puts her hand to her chest. She goes, "I am jealous, though. I almost wish I could have wings like you."
I mean, you almost had wings. But maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
Not the way I wanted them, she says with
No.
a sigh. Those are
Hmm.
more mutations, as yours look more natural. So who knows? Maybe someday you'll be able to fly me around. She gives a charming smile.
I can already do that with spells.
Well, there we go. Hopefully, when we meet Lady Ruru and like that, we can have a chance to fly around. When
Right.
we've had our rests and all this is done over with.
Yeah, it'll be great.
She gives a charming smile and fond smile to Cicada and then starts to eat her food.
He-
Romantic music.
oh,
Halfway through the meal, though, she does glance over Cicada and she goes, "Overall, dear, you're okay, right?"
I mean, I'm better now than I was back in that weird dimension.
That is true, she says with a bit of a smile, and then she looks thoughtful for a second and she says, "Do you know that I do care for you, dear? But then again, I also." She looks a little awkward as she goes, "I'm not exactly the best person."
Is that a problem?
She gives a bit of a chuckle. She goes, "I suppose to some, not much, but." She looks thoughtful. She goes, "I've done a lot of bad things in the past, and I know that you all tolerate me pretty well. Just know that I'm a bit of a complicated person."
It's okay if you're complicated. I mean,
Even
a
if it
lot of
means you
people are
might,
complicated.
even if it means you might be pulled into danger, and that maybe sometimes I might accidentally have you in a crossfire. Some of the things I do.
I know you'll protect me, right?
She looks a little bit taken back for a second, and she goes, "I'll try." And she looks kind of sad for a second. "I have failed once with my brother, as you know. So there are some days I do doubt whether if I'm good enough or not."
Well, if it means anything, I think you're good enough for me. More than enough, really.
She looks surprised at this for a second, and then she actually puts a hand to her chest. She goes, "Oh, my dear, you are the sweetest." I am definitely not good, not worth you. I don't think any of us are.
Everybody is worth it to me. But you especially.
She looks quite touched by this, and then she gives an actual like real smile, and then she says, "Don't ever change, dear. And if I have to, I'll help protect that innocence you have. It's unique, makes you you, and I'll do whatever I can to protect that."
Alright. Thank you.
Oh, dear cicada, thank you. She gives a bright smile, and then she scoots out of her chair, sits up, and then reaches over and places a tender kiss on her forehead.
No.
She then leans back and she goes, "Well, I don't know about you, but I am completely and utterly exhausted. Shall we retire for the night?"
Yeah.
As you
Just look.
as you move to retire for the night, you see the barrier, and there's another sign that says 1 hour on it.
Jezebel looks a bit annoyed, and then she gives a shrug as she grabs Cicada's hand, pulls over to the couch, and then lays down and pulls Cicada towards her. She goes, "I just have to be down here for an hour. It doesn't mean we can't lay down on the couch." While still wearing the dress.
Okay then.
Regardless, an hour will pass and you will eventually be able to sleep, and Korax will be able to go to the toilet. But with that, we will wrap this session up. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Welcome back, everyone. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so